But briefly, to talk about the actual torture. I'll restrict this to two things. First of all, Binyam Mohammed. He describes things pretty well because he was considered to be a dirty bomber. It was suggested and believed that he was involved in a bomb plot to blow up New York. And a very large number of people say to me when I give these talks, but what about the ticking time bomb? What if there's somebody who can give you this information? Surely then it's reasonable to torture, and maybe that's something we can come back and talk about. But Binyam Mohammed was that person. They thought that it was him. As it turned out, it actually wasn't. But and he was captured in Pakistan. He was tortured a bit in Pakistan. He was hung up by his wrists, which is called strapado by the Spanish Inquisition, our friends. And he was beaten up and interrogated by US intelligence and also British intelligence. We were in that particular one up to our necks. He was then rendered to Morocco, where he was beaten up for 18 months. His genitals were slashed with a razor blade, God help us. I mean, it's the sort of stuff that one has in bad dreams. I mean, it's 1984 stuff. He was then taken to Afghanistan, where he was kept in somewhere called the Dark Prison in Kabul, where he was kept in complete darkness for 6 months, except when he was taken out and interrogated. And he was placed in stress positions, and they played incredibly loud music at him for days and weeks on end. And it was interesting, he said that he would rather the physical torture, the razor blades, than the psychological torture, because he said with the psychological torture, with the physical torture at least you could retreat into your mind, whereas with the psychological torture you just felt your mind was slipping. So, not good stuff, quite bad stuff. I guess very, very briefly, the final thing that I would say is that when I joined Reprieve, I thought, this is, basically this is a bunch of crazy liberal people who think everyone in Guantanamo is innocent. Everyone in Guantanamo is not innocent, but a frightening number are, and I couldn't work out why that was to begin with. How American intelligence, who, whatever you think of them, are highly resourced and not necessarily altogether stupid people, how they could have managed to screw up so big. And the answer is twofold. The first is that they were offering bounties for people. And so they were saying, give us Taliban or Al-Qaeda.
That's the rich one.
Yeah, and we will give you. And to begin with, they said $5,000, which in rural Pakistan is a lot. At the end, it was $5 million. And, this is where I get interactive on you guys and say, look to your left and right. Would you give up the person next to you for what's the equivalent of about $50 million? And, that's before someone's looked at your wife funny. I mean, it's
well, in a system where there are warlords and grudges against
absolutely.
People, and you would like to use any power against.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's in a
yeah. And the thing that holds hands with that is that once you've bought someone for even $5,000 on the basis that they were in Tora Bora in 2001, you ask them whether they were in Tora Bora in 2001 and they say no. You then torture them a bit and they say yes. And the one thing that it really is clear is that if you torture someone, they will say whatever you want them to say. And the best example of this, I think, is a chap called Sheikh Al-Wadi, now dead in custody, who was not a good man, but who said under torture that Saddam Hussein was in league with Al-Qaeda and was producing weapons of mass destruction. And it was on that evidence, in part, that Colin Powell and George Bush said to the UN we should invade Iraq. And it's when operational decisions start getting made on the basis of evidence obtained via torture that everything goes out the window. So, yeah, bad idea, generally, torture.